Hello, everybody. This is attorney Irene Weisman. Today is Monday, February 10th, 2025. I hope everybody is doing well. It's cold in New York City, and we are expecting some snow tomorrow, I guess. Tomorrow it will be. Anyways, so today I wanted to talk about more things that are happening with the new administration. And so what I wanted to discuss today is the revival of the anti-fraud program in immigration court. So this memo is coming out from the EOIR, which is the Executive Office of Immigration Review. It's a federal agency that controls the immigration court, the Board of Immigration Appeals. So today this is immigration courts, and they are, I guess, reviving their anti-fraud program designed to combat fraud in immigration court. They are concerned with asylum fraud, and that memo specifically indicates that. And basically, quote unquote, they want to create a robust and effective anti-fraud program with anything that is filed in immigration court, concentrating on asylum applications, asylum submissions, and they are calling on the employees of the immigration court, so employees of Executive Office of Immigration Review, to recognize the fraud, to search out the fraud, and if they see the fraud, to call it out. So not only for applicants, but also for lawyers. I'm not too sure exactly what that means. Also, are they going to, search for fraud only for respondents, right, which is immigrants and their counsel, or are they, searching for fraud that is, like on occasion committed by DHS counsel? That happens as well. They've been catching them at doing some things. So I don't know, but I will give you a few instances where I have seen this happen and how I have seen this happen with my clients, with my potential clients that I have seen during consultations. And I think what they want to do is, there's a lot of new technology out there right now, with the technology was always there, right? I mean, this program was initially implemented in 2007, and then it's been sort of on and off as far as when it was used. Then during the I think it was in 2017, they really focused on it, and then during the last administration, I don't know, they're saying they didn't really focus on it. I mean, in reality, who knows? But this is how I have seen it in practice. So they have technology, and now with the advancement and improvement of artificial intelligence, there's really, many different computer programs that can catch things. And what they're looking for is, just to give you a few examples, common phrases or instances, right? So you have your statement in support of your asylum application, right? In that statement, you're supposed to describe what happened to you, how and why you were persecuted, and why you are afraid to return to your home country, right? And in that statement, you describe instances of persecution and what may have happened to you and how it happened to you, right? And I have seen instances where I actually have seen it in both, in the asylum office and, done by an immigration judge, where they pull the, like your statement, right? And then somebody else's statement or something that they have found online and say, well, this is strikingly similar. You know, this is your statement, this is like a paragraph out of your statement, and this is almost word for word from either this applicant, you know, so and so, or something that's out there on Google. Okay, and I have seen this a lot more than once, believe it or not. Okay, so what's the point of all of this? I mean, obviously, asylum fraud is bad. It's punishable by law if you're caught in, you know, if you're entangled in asylum fraud. You're never going to get your documents here. You're never going to get asylum. You're never going to get a green card. I mean, it's just, forget about it, right? Asylum fraud is bad. Okay, any kind of fraud is bad. Okay, you know, marriage fraud, you know, spousal abuse fraud, any kind of fraud is just bad. Okay, asylum fraud is really bad. So it's a very asylum seekers, very vulnerable group of people. There are, you know, many people who are truly in need of asylum, in need of protection. You know, they're really fleeing some horrible things, horrific, you know, from, and again, in my 20 years of practice, I've seen so much. But, you know, some people are really, many people are really fleeing some horrendous things from many different parts of the world, okay? Bad things. And, you know, some people have fear for future persecution because of certain things. You know, maybe they were, all their lives, they were hiding something, right? And they lived in fear, you know, they fled that, and they're just afraid of going back because they just can't live like that anymore. You know, I've seen people suffer from many different psychiatric conditions, you know, from panic attacks to other things that, you know, they just can't do it anymore. You know, they were driven to the point where, anyways, so when, you know, if you're my client, for example, I will always tell you to write your own statement, okay? I don't care how, you know, good or bad, you know, your writing skills are. You're going to do it in your own language. You know, if you speak English, you're going to do it in English. You know, we can tweak your grammar, right? But you're going to write your own statement. You're going to tell me what happened to you, okay? From A to Z, basically, from the very beginning to, you know, why are you afraid returning home? What's happening to you right now, okay? And you will tell me your story, and then I will ask you questions about your story, and we're going to go back and forth with your story. But it is your story to tell. It is not my story to tell, okay? And nobody should be writing your story for you, okay? It's your case, it's your story. You're all going to have your own individual case, your own individual facts. There was, I mean, I see this often, but about 10 years ago, maybe even more at this point, I saw a lot of cases coming out. You know, people were coming to me and they said, you know, well, you know, I didn't have an attorney when I submitted my asylum application. They referred to immigration court, and you know, people from certain regions, and you know, they admitted to going to like a paralegal or a notario, and their stories just seemed so strikingly similar. And I read it and I was like, did you write your story? And I was like, just, like a month ago, I had somebody come in with a very similar thing, you know, 2 months ago, 2 weeks ago, and it just kept on continuing. And I was like, what is going on? Okay, so if you're watching this and you're only thinking of applying for asylum, or you know, maybe your story is not complete yet, or you know, whatever it is, please make sure that you write your own statement, okay, in whatever language it is you understand best. And then you can sit down with your attorney, and your attorney can ask you questions about your statement, and you can answer those questions, and whatever you answer, that can be added in your statement. And then, you know, of course, We can format it, we can, whatever, but just remember, it's your statement and it is your story, and nobody can tell it the way you can tell it, because I wasn't there. I don't know what happened to you, okay? I can't describe how you felt, okay, when the police arrested you. I can't describe how you felt when you were beaten up. I mean, I don't know how it happened. I just wasn't there, period. And neither was, that guy or that attorney or that paralegal or whatever. It's your story to tell and nobody else's, okay? And, I understand that, potentially some stories, some events may sound similar, but, I'll give you an example. Moscow, 2011, 2012, the Bolotnaya Square events, right? Many people were there. Many people got arrested. Many people got detained. Do you know how many stories I've heard from those events? But, so, people can describe with similarity what they saw, but potentially what happened to them was a different story. So I have heard this story from observers that were there. They weren't arrested, they weren't detained, they weren't beaten, nothing happened to them. But they were there, and with their own eyes, they saw what happened to some people, right? Then I have heard the story of people who actually got detained there, okay? Then I have heard stories of people that didn't get detained there, but that ended up having problems thereafter because they were there, okay? So the main event could be described in similar ways because people were there, but the individual thing of what may have happened to you is going to be always different, okay? I mean, unless you and your best buddy or you and your spouse, got arrested at the same time in the same place. But even then, I just, again, example out of my own clients, husband and wife arrested at the same protest, and taken to the same detention center, to the same police station, but one of them was treated a certain way and released much sooner than the other, okay? So at the same event, arrested together in the same police car together on the way to the station. So that story would be similar, right? Because they were together. But then what happened to each is going to be very much different. They all had their own very different experience, okay? I hope you understand that difference or can understand that difference. But, the most important thing that I want you to take out of this is that don't let anybody write your statement. It's your statement, and it's only yours to write, okay? Don't worry about your grammar. Don't worry about, whatever. An attorney can help you work through it, put it together, ask you a ton of questions to make it look, not make it look, to make it into a statement, right? But it's your statement, and it's yours to say, to tell, okay? But there will be this anti-fraud unit, and they are going to be looking for asylum fraud, and they will be analyzing things, and I guess they're going to be using AI technology or whatever. So we do expect a lot more I don't want to call it harsh treatment or anyways, but they're gonna be looking for fraud, okay? So if don't make stuff up, don't make something sound worse than it was. Just be honest, tell your story, okay? If somebody shot at you and they only shot once, don't say that they shot at you 5 times. Don't make stuff up, okay? Just don't. Just be honest. That's it, okay? Be honest, tell your story. That's it. That's how it's done, okay? I hope this was helpful. I will talk to you soon. Okay, and just be aware that you know that this unit was revived, and they are going to try to combat asylum fraud. It's going to be big. All right, have a good day, everybody. Bye.